ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
A computer glitch putting California's coronavirus response in crisis mode. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Today, California's health secretary announced the glitch has led to a backlog of up to 300,000 unprocessed health records. Our ABC 10 News reporter Adam Merkusen joins us to explain how the state moves forward from here. Adam.
Yeah, Steve, they need to start working through that backlog. According to the state, the system was not set up to take this large volume of test results that it's receiving. It just wasn't able to process that. So the state's putting new systems in place and created backup systems to be able to double check this data and all the reports that it's generating. So here's what happened. The data system that they used failed, and that led to inaccurate case numbers and case positivity rates. The failure prevented counties from having some of the data that they need to monitor and respond to the virus in local communities. According to the state, about 2 weeks ago, a server outage created a delay in lab records coming into the reporting system. At the same time, they realized they weren't getting data from one of the largest commercial reporting labs for about 5 days. Altogether, the backlog grew to about 300,000 records.
This entire CalReady system accepts results not just for COVID, but for other reportable diseases. So all of those records are the total number of records that need to be sorted through. And so we won't yet know until 24, 48 hours from now, once that entire load is worked through, how many are COVID related and how many of those are positive versus negative.
And Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley says the issues have been fixed and it did not impact the decisions related to the county monitoring list. The governor has ordered an investigation into what happened. So this was just about cases, hospitalization rates and those numbers, and also the death numbers that were coming in that didn't have any issue related to the numbers of tests that you're seeing right here. Also, according to the state, case rates continue to follow the trend that they've been showing, so they're still going down. That's according to the state. Reporting live from La Mesa tonight, Adam Merkusen, ABC 10 News.
Adam, thank you. And speaking of that, here's the latest numbers on the coronavirus case here in San Diego County. Now get this, there were 652 new cases reported today. That's for a total of 31,779. But the county says that high number today is due in part to the backlog of the test results. 3 new deaths were reported, bringing that total to 586. And there were also 2 new outbreaks, one in a business setting, the other in a restaurant.
The neighborhood has just been harassed by noise.
Partying during this pandemic, the city's attorney's office filed a complaint against the owner of an Airbnb rental in Bankers Hill after more than a dozen reports of large parties and illegal renovations. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains what led the city to take action.
And once COVID struck, we were even more concerned. There were huge parties there.
The so-called party house sits on 2nd Avenue in Bankers Hill. Neighbor Pam Adler says the Airbnb rental has been a nuisance in the neighborhood for more than a year. The home's listing, which has been removed from Airbnb's website, shows it went for about $900 a night and could fit up to 12 people.
Just constant parties, big parties. We've complained to the police, the City Council.
Airbnb says right now hosts are not allowed to authorize parties in areas where a public health order prohibits large gatherings, like here in San Diego. In a statement to ABC 10 News, Airbnb said Airbnb policy expressly prohibits party houses, and we have suspended this listing as we investigate further. San Diego police tell me this year from January to July, they received 13 calls regarding this home.
The neighborhood has just been harassed by noise.
City Attorney Mara Elliott says it was time to shut the place down, filing this lengthy complaint against the owner and property manager for more than 20 violations of state and local laws.
We're in the middle of a pandemic. And as city attorney, my job is to keep the streets and neighborhoods safe as possible.
In addition to the party concerns, Elliott says a number of renovations were made to the home without the required permits, like added on bedrooms, bathrooms, and even a pool and jacuzzi.
It takes us some time and some effort to build these cases. This is not a good solution for the problems caused by short-term rentals. Regulations are.
For now, neighbors are just thrilled to see one issue resolved.
I'm so happy.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
After code enforcement investigates that home, Elliott says the owner may be required to get permits and redo some of those add-ons. Again, Airbnb has completely removed this listing from its site. Our attempts to reach the owner of the property manager were unsuccessful.
The county is setting the record straight about guidelines for reopening schools. We were flooded with questions after the Poway Unified School District released plans this week for a virtual restart. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner explains why parents are now demanding the district reverse its decision.
Friday, confusion and frustration with the Poway Unified School District from parents like Mark Meadows.
I think they should, make their decisions based on the facts, not based on either something that they've made up or something that they've misinterpreted.
In a letter sent out earlier this week, the district reported in part that it planned for the possibility to resume classes in person after the county was off the state's monitoring list for 14 consecutive days. However, the new metrics announced to San Diego County superintendents Tuesday require our county to be off the monitoring list for 2 14-day cycles, a total of 28 consecutive days. That 28-day part is wrong, county officials said Friday. The letter told parents the district would continue with virtual learning through December. Superintendent Dr. Marian Kim Phelps said this Thursday night.
The reason why we chose going to December was that after talking to our district administrators and staff, that we wanted some continuity of learning for our children to ensure that we could finish whatever option we started with, like finish a whole entire quarter or trimester.
It requires a lot of schedule shifting, a lot of, possibly paying for some sort of tutor or nanny to watch our child while they're at their virtual class during the day.
Dr. Kim Phelps said she sent the letter after getting new guidelines during a telebriefing Tuesday with the county, but the county confirmed Friday that Poway Unified officials' information is incorrect. Friday afternoon, the district said there was no misunderstanding on its part and directed us to this county slide showing that on day 28, schools can reopen for in-person instruction. The district added Friday, there's no change in our plans. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
ABC 10 News asked the county about those slides. We're still waiting to hear back.
You will have to pull that business from my bloody hands before I close.
Well, patience is running thin for that North Park gym owner after a frustrating back and forth to move his business outdoors. The first time he tried, he claims he found the street littered with feces. And after a threat of a hefty fine from the county, ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains the unsettling new discovery that owner made just today.
Frank Cole and the staff at North Park's Last Real Gym spent Friday morning moving everything outside. It didn't take long for something to stop them in their tracks.
Hypodermic needle, which is in this cup here.
That syringe summing up exactly why Cole made the decision last month to defy the governor's health order and move workouts back indoors. He made the move after just 5 days outside.
Dog poop, human feces, blood stains, broken glass.
Cole says he was enforcing strict social distancing and mask rules for indoor workouts. But this week, the county served him with a violation notice acknowledging the tough conditions outside, but maintaining it was the best approach. Each violation would cost $1,000.
I can understand why we need to move outside, but how is it safer and cleaner than inside?
The move is the latest by the county to address gyms that have defied the governor's health order to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. Last month, the county announced an outbreak at a different gym in PB called The Gym. Still, there are efforts to help. On Wednesday, a city crew came and power washed the sidewalk outside Last Real Gym, but Cole says it was a quick job that barely helped.
You will have to pull that business from my bloody hands before I close.
Cole says that's even if it costs him more in staff time to move equipment in and out every day, made worse by reducing hours of operation. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
A spokesperson for the city says environment services crews, they use hazardous waste containers when they come across syringes like you saw in that story. The public can use the Get It Done app to notify the city when they see dangerous items such as this.
Well, the clock is ticking for San Diego renters to apply for emergency financial assistance. The one-time program provides up to $4,000 per household. Families with past due or upcoming rent payments are eligible. Each household must provide documentation proving they're not currently receiving any rental subsidies. They must also prove their income was impacted by the pandemic. The deadline to apply is midnight tonight. And you can find the application link as well as other resources in the Rebound Resource Guide on 10news.com. Stimulus talks have broken down in Washington as negotiators walk away without a deal. The next aid package was intended to bolster the economy and help struggling Americans pay their bills. Here's ABC's Deirdre Bolton.
The recovery will not be slow and steady. It will be slow and bumpy. While July's data was better than expected, it shows there is still a long road ahead. Nearly 1.8 million jobs were added to the U.S. economy in July, more than forecast, but fewer than the 4.8 million added in June. The reason for the slowing? The coronavirus. In July, businesses had to shut or curtail activity. Towards the end of the month, 21 states were declared by the government as red zones. COVID-19 cases were soaring in southern and western states. Since the pandemic lockdowns began 20 weeks ago, more than 55 million Americans have filed for new unemployment benefits, more than a third of the American workforce. For many families, that means struggling to meet expenses and put food on the table.
I see everything through the eyes of the children. We can't have our children be hungry, we can't have them be homeless, and we cannot have them be afraid to go to school.
More than 30 million families lost a lifeline last week. They were receiving extra support through $600 per week payments, but that federal aid expired.
That extra $600 has been a lifeline to us to keep the roof over our heads, keep food on the table.
Lawmakers disagree on what comes next.
It doesn't do anything for our economy to have more people on unemployment.
Some Republicans found the amount of the payments excessive, showing that some Americans had been earning more at home than they would have at work.
We just don't think it's remotely fair for the federal government to tax essential workers who kept working every day so that Uncle Sam can pay their neighbors a higher salary to stay home.
As for the president, he's likely to sign an order extending the enhanced unemployment benefits and imposing a payroll tax holiday.
Also in play, Congress is considering a second Paycheck Protection Program, better known as PPP, a true lifeline for numerous small businesses this past spring and summer. Many Democrats, many Republicans are on a similar page in that they would like to see this program somehow extended through the end of the year with revisions. Deirdre Bolton, ABC News, New York.
In other news today, there were some tense moments in the South Bay today when a brush fire sent a plume of thick, dark smoke over the area. That fire ignited on the outskirts of the Otay landfill in Chula Vista just after noon. That burned about 10 acres. As our ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle shows us, firefighters made quick work of this one.
Heritage Road just reopened. You can still see wisps of smoke as they continue to mop up this fire. Thankfully, it didn't get close to neighborhoods.
The fire ignited around 12:30, charring 10 acres, the wind pushing flames toward 2 Chula Vista neighborhoods. Sky 10 overhead watching 3 other helicopters knock down the fire line. Thankfully, no homes burned and there were no injuries. The fire stopped spreading around 2 p.m., neighbors all coming out to watch.
A while ago, there was a big wildfire in East Lake, so it is kind of scary.
First I came out of my door and I saw the helicopter flying over. And then I saw the massive smoke plume.
I saw the whole, mostly this part on fire and this one, and I could see the helicopters dumping water on the other side, so it was on the back of the mountain as well.
It's pretty much just, it's just open brush.
We've been hearing a lot of fire trucks and all that, so we figured that they're doing a good job of putting out the fires, and so far, I mean, they are,
Thankful firefighters got here quick and knocked the blaze down. Chula Vista Fire Captain Linda Diorsi said this is a great reminder of how important defensible space is, especially as we head towards fall with the Santa Ana winds. She suggested doing yard work early in the morning while it's cool.
Firefighters are still investigating the cause of the fire. Reporting in Chula Vista, Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.